All right, Zach, I'm going to take you to the peak of your leg kick, and I understand that yours isn't very big, but that's totally fine. So I said the same thing to your brother. I use Aroldis Chapman, not because I expect you to be a freak athlete throwing 100 miles an hour, but his movements are very obvious, so that's why I tend to use him. Okay, he moves as well as anybody in the game. Okay, so even though your leg kick isn't big, you're still lifting it. Okay, so I'm going to take him to where he lifts his. Okay, and you actually do a pretty good job of being inside your back foot. Okay, the only issue is this took a lot of time for you to do this. Okay, so we want to be moving forward as we lift, and we can see that all of your movements are going back to do this. Okay, so even though you put yourself in a good position, you could be starting this forward movement a little bit earlier. Why do we want to be moving forward earlier? So it's a lot easier for us to have more momentum and be moving faster. One thing we talked a lot about. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the bottom of your arm swing. Okay, take him to the bottom of his arm swing. Okay, and we're going to see he's moved farther away from his back foot, and he looks quite a bit different. Okay, so Mike, in your video, I said the same thing, but I wasn't very specific. It's very obvious how much more turned away he is. So if I'm the batter right now, I'm looking at his back. I'm going to see the numbers and name on his back quite obviously. Okay, and we do this for a lot of reasons, and I don't want to get into the specifics as to why. I just want you to recognize how much different he looks just getting into his lift and getting out of his lift. Okay, so big leg kick or not, we still need to be moving forward early. Okay, so we don't see that backward movement that I see in you, Zach, and that I saw in your brother, and that I quite frankly see in a lot of players. Okay, so I take you right at the bottom of your arm swing, take him to the bottom of his arm swing, and we just see how much more he's moved down the mound. Okay, if you don't believe me or don't understand what I mean, look at how he's away from that line, and so much of your body is over that line or beyond that line. If that wasn't clear, hopefully that made it. So the reason why I focus so much on that is because those impact what happens out here. So again, I put your brother in the same position, put Aroldis Chapman in the same position. Okay, and both of you are doing a pretty good job keeping your shoulders closed, but are doing very similar things with your legs. Okay, so the fact that I can still see your glove side, your chest is facing me, you look very similar with your upper half in relation to foot strike. Okay, but what I see the big differences is what's happening in the lower half. Okay, so when I see you come down, I see your hips facing me. Okay, I saw you step out where I see him stay closer to us, right? So I should be seeing your foot landing closer to this line, closer to us here. Okay? When I see your hips get turned, we're right there. When I see his hips fully get turned, we're there. So there's just a bigger separation between our lower half and our upper half. And hopefully it's obvious to you that these things are happening. So, just to reiterate, I think it's very important that you work on how you get into your leg kick and how you get out of your leg kick, and try to copy the best throwers that you see. It does not matter who you watch, you're going to see these things happening in the best throwers in the game.